What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back. And I do appreciate the support. You can tell it's late. Now, listen, let me drop this on you guys real quick. I made a mistake in my other video earlier today, and you guys let me have it in the comment section. Shout out to you guys that set me straight. In a video I did previously about Houston and what, my fellow Houstonians are going through, I said that the hurricane season started July 15th. Actually, it starts June 1st and it ends November 30th. So I want to correct that because y'all been tearing me up the comment section, and rightfully so. I should be knowing what I'm talking about on that level from living there. But somebody also said that, oh, this happens every year. We get storms we don't. And that's one of the things. We don't get these hurricanes. Even though it be the season, we don't get them all the time. We might get a remnant of a storm, but sometimes we don't get anything. But reason why I'm making this video is not just to correct the mistake I made, honestly. I want to show you a little bit of, I saw some news articles and it just shows how bad it is for a lot of residents that are still there. And I wanted to share that with you real fast. I want you to keep these people that you see in these news articles I show you, I'm going to run them back to back, in your prayers. Because, a lot of people are saying stuff and it sounds good, but hindsight is always 20/20. You know what I mean? Hey, do this, do that. But to do this, you got to have something else, and it's lacking. There's not enough blocks to put it together to have something where you can sustain yourself. If that was the case, you wouldn't be seeing all these horror stories that are coming out in the news. People are dying. People are suffering. And it's no laughing matter. And it's like, relying on the experts to give you an opinion and, telling you the storm was small or whatever. If we can't take the advice of those that are giving us the news sometimes, what use are they? So, a lot of people saying negative comments about me, I don't care. But about people of Houston and stuff like that, I can't let that ride because you're not out here. And stop comparing Florida and other places to Houston, because the infrastructure is different and so is the situation. Yeah, the weather's warm and nice, but every situation is different. We need to be considerate and have some type of respect when talking about, somebody else's situation, because it could very well be you in this situation next time. So without further ado, man, let me show you these videos, and I want you to pay attention, man. People are suffering and struggling, man. It's a damn shame seeing this. Just take a look, y'all.
Thank you.
In Houston, Texas, another long line for supplies in scorching 90-degree heat as more than 1 million people go a fourth day without power after Hurricane Beryl.
All of our food ruined the day before yesterday, so we haven't eaten since the day before yesterday.
Nearly 2,000 miles away, remnants of Hurricane Beryl blew through New England, with deadly flooding leaving parts of Vermont a muddy mess. And 2 tornadoes spawned in western New York. This family's home and livelihood destroyed.
Trying to figure out what we're going to do in the future to provide for our family. It's not easy.
In the West, record-breaking heat is again bearing down on folks in Las Vegas. Thursday marked the 6th straight day of daytime highs reaching or exceeding 115 degrees. First responders in Henderson, Nevada have started using polar pods and what's called cold immersion therapy to treat heat-related illnesses.
They're going to be in an extreme state of shock at that point, so when we get called for those patients, we want to be able to rapidly cool their body temperature down in a controlled manner.
In parts of California, officials say there's been a growing number of heat-related deaths since the beginning of July, and more high temps are on the way. Jared Hill, CBS News.
So many people across the Houston area are still struggling without power on top of the sweltering heat. Some local emergency rooms are seeing an increase of patients. KPRC2's Rowan Malogan is live tonight in Pasadena with a woman sharing her hospital experience. Rowan?
Daniela Keith, a Pasadena woman telling me that paramedics were able to get her to the HCA Southeast here. The spokesperson for the hospital telling me that there has been an increase in many of the ERs across the area for storm-related illnesses, but also for people showing up trying to refill their oxygen tanks.
This Pasadena woman spent about 36 hours at HCA Southeast. Her oxygen tank was empty, and with several health complications, she thought her stay would be longer.
Because it was so packed, it was still packed when they discharged me, but they needed the beds for people that actually had illnesses.
She was given an option to be taken to an emergency medical shelter like NRG, but didn't because her kids weren't with her, so she went back to her powerless home.
So Wednesday morning you called the company that typically delivers your oxygen, hey, can I get a refill here?
Yeah.
And you were told it wouldn't happen until Monday.
Until Monday.
How did you feel?
Well, scared. So what I did was I lowered the liters to the lowest that I possibly could, and just did as less moving as I could.
It worked for a few hours.
And I ran out last night in the middle of the night. My oxygen levels dropped to 67.
She pulled out all her old tanks and fortunately was able to find one with some oxygen. At the same time, a friend of hers called the delivery company explaining her situation, rushing things, and she was able to get it today. An HCA spokesperson said several people have visited the ER trying to refill their oxygen tanks. They've helped many of them. The sweltering heat and many in the dark has led to more emergency room visits across the area.
I appreciate everything they did for me.
Now, hospital leaders across the area trying to stress to people to not only show up to the emergency room if they have an emergency medical attention. Live in Pasadena, Roman Blogan, KPRC 2 News.
Very concerning what we've seen out here. At least 3 utility lines down back here and 3 that are tipping over on just one street. Residents say after the storm, it's only gotten worse. Along this stretch of Deal Road in northwest Houston, it's hard to miss the rusted transformer and multiple downed utility poles blocking the street. Just a few yards away, at least one pole has snapped, and residents like Mary Lou Heater say it's only a matter of time.
I don't know if that wire gives out, it's going to go right down onto the street.
After Beryl tore through Houston, Heater says just one power line was down on Monday.
These were not bent over at that time.
But over the next few days, more and more utility poles started to fall or tip over.
So Wednesday is when I talked to CenterPoint, and there were 2 guys, and they just said, yeah, we've got crews coming, and no one's been here yet.
When CenterPoint came to look at the damage, she says one worker told her this.
He said it was the worst he's seen in Houston, and we should have been first. That's exactly his words. He was standing like right here.
Tonight, Heater tells us she's worried more lines could come down, like dominoes near her home. Her concern, the wooded area nearby.
You have to be worried about fire, you know, and then something sparking.
And it's not just here. Across Houston, we've seen multiple instances of downed utility poles or lines tangled up with trees.
I know we're not like number one as far as needs in the community, but this looks pretty dangerous to me.
Now, in a media briefing this afternoon, a CenterPoint official said they hope to have 80% of customers restored with power by this weekend. They said the remaining were likely dealing with trees that were down, and that would not be a quick fix. We're live today in Northwest Houston. Stephen Goen, KHOU 11 News.
And among all the homes still without power, there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of businesses out there still impacted. And Fox 26's business reporter Tom Ziska says small companies in particular are facing challenges weathering this storm.
Anthony, closed doors are expensive troubles for any business, but particularly for small businesses like these that have a whole lot tighter financial margins. There is a chance, though, the Texas lawmakers can help when they return to Austin in the next session.
This is the pain they busted. The first night it was dark, somebody smashed our glass door and tried to get in.
The would-be burglars did not make their way into Matt Worth's iCycle bike shop in the Oak Forest neighborhood, but that's about the only good news. Besides keeping his portable generator filled with gas, to keep some lights and fans on, and sleeping at the shop to keep a watchful eye, the business is closed until power is restored and his half-dozen employees are not earning a paycheck.
With no electricity, we're almost shut down, out of business. You know, nobody's going to come shopping for a bicycle in the dark when it's 100 degrees.
When you're hit disaster after disaster after disaster, it eats up any cash reserves you have.
Janice Jucker knows what she's talking about. Her Three Brothers Bakery has been hit over and over by floods and freezes and the pandemic, so she's become a vocal advocate for small business assistance. In 2021, Texas lawmakers passed the framework for a small business disaster recovery loan program. This next session, she hopes to get it funded to make so-called bridge loans available for affected businesses.
The purpose of the bridge loan would be you could loan up to $50,000 and you use it to pay your people so you can reopen. Because if you don't have your people, you can't reopen.
Back at iCycle with his dog, adding a layer of protection and some company, Matt Worth can see the potential benefit of a safety net when disaster strikes.
Right now we're okay, but if this happened, a couple more times, yeah, we would be seriously hurting.
And the stakes are high. A FEMA study found 40% of businesses that closed during a disaster never reopen. The Texas Disaster Recovery Loan Program is designed after one in Florida. Janice Jucker says she has every name of everyone who supported the framework. She intends to lean on those people to find the money to pay for it. Watching Your Money, I'm Tom Ziska, Fox 26 News.